Hello and welcome to the Laughing Goblins. We are your hosts, Holly
and Bon.
On this show, we roast literature, mythology, and occasionally delve into our special interests because we have ADHD and we cannot be stopped. Yeah. Last time on the Laughing Goblin, we finally exited the forest and moved into the desert, and we are still in the desert, but for those of you who are interested, our afraid count is at 12. Our faint count is still at 2. Once again, I remember there being more fainting in this Inferno, but
perhaps not.
Maybe not. Maybe it was just 2 times. Maybe I just assumed all that time he was scared he was about to pass out. Usual content warnings. Unfortunately, self-unaliving makes yet another return, but thankfully not with punishment. We'll go into that. And Dante is going to see some more familiar faces coming up. Remember in the last episode, his teacher ran away saying he had to avoid some people. Well, apparently these are people that Dante knew that are in the Inferno that are coming up to him. And so apparently his teacher knows them and has to run away from them. Wonder what happened there.
We'll never know.
Because we can't be bothered to look into it.
No.
Already we were where I could hear the rumbling of the water plunging down to the next circle. Something like the sound of beehives humming. When 3 shades with one impulse broke away from a group of spirits passing us beneath the rain of bitter suffering. They were coming towards us shouting with one voice, "Oh, you there! Stop! From the clothes you wear, you seem to be a man from our perverted city." So when they say perverted, they just mean that it's not the way it's supposed to be. Like it's wrong. It's
corrupt.
Different. It's corrupt. They don't mean that it's... Well, maybe they do mean that it's lusting for something it shouldn't lust for, or like it's being kind of gross.
Maybe.
The wounds I saw covering their limbs, some old, some freshly branded by the flames. Even now, when I think back to them, I grieve. You grieve a lot for a man that wrote these exact things happening to them. The differences between Dante the character and Dante the author are interesting and contradictory.
Very contradictory. Very interesting.
Their shouts caught the attention of my guide, and then he turned to face me saying, "Wait, for those are shades that merit your respect." Okay, again, if somebody's in the Inferno, and I'm assuming they might or might not belong in the Inferno, should we really respect them? I guess we're saying respect their voices, respect what they have to say.
I guess.
Let them tell us what goes on here.
You have to respect, like Virgil's in the Limbo, so
right. Well, Limbo's not Inferno. We went over this.
True.
And also, even if Virgil had been lower in the Inferno, the way that Dante gushes over him, okay,
he would definitely respect him then, wouldn't he?
And were it not the nature of this place to rain with piercing flames, I would suggest you run towards them, for it would be more fitting. So, you really need to meet these people? Go. Just don't get hit by fire falling from the sky, please. That would slow us down tremendously.
Yes, we cannot slow down our journey.
When we stopped, they resumed their normal pace, and when they reached us, they started circling. The 3 together formed a turning wheel, just like the professional wrestlers, stripped and oiled, eyeing each other for the first best grip before the actual blows and thrusts began. Well, that's a very interesting metaphor. So basically, because they can't stop moving, they're just like running in a circle.
Yeah.
Like they're playing some demented version of Duck, Duck, Goose.
I guess.
And circling in this way, each kept his face pointed up at me so that their necks and feet moved constantly in opposite direction. So they're running one way and then they're kind of looking behind them, I guess.
That's kind of weird and awkward to run that way.
Well, it seems like this entire experience is weird and awkward and painful.
True.
Sometimes literally.
Well, yeah, fire is still falling from the sky, right? Or have we moved on from that part?
And if the misery along these sterile sands, one of them said, and our charred and peeling flesh make us and what we ask repulsive to you, let our great worldly fame persuade your heart to tell us who you are and how you can walk safely with living feet through hell itself. Well, he can walk safely because apparently there is a path that he could safely walk upon.
That someone had laid down. I wonder who that was. Who are the mysterious workers?
Maybe it was Virgil. Maybe Virgil during one of his many trips through hell was like, you know what would help? A path. Paver.
Is there a suggestion box?
Paver. Or maybe it was Jesus since he created that landslide.
Maybe, I don't know.
He also was like, you know what this landscape needs?
A wooden plank to walk upon.
There we go!
Whee!
Lincoln!
This one in front, whose footsteps I am treading, even though he runs his round naked and skin, was of noble station, more than you may think. He was the grandson of the good Goldra.
You want me to try that one, friend?
Sure.
Gualdrada. So, Gualdrada is the daughter of Bellincione Berti of Florence, and her grandson was Guido Guerra. This Guido was a Guelph leader. He led several battles, and that's why his nickname is Guerra. Guerra means war. His counsel is exemplified by his advice to Florentine Guelphs not to fight against Siena in 1260. They ignored him, and that destroyed the Guelph party in Florence. Don't know why he's being punished for that. It sounds like he told them not to do a thing, and they went and did it. Fuck around and find out, I guess.
Yeah. And also guilt by association, I guess?
Yeah.
Because he was the leader, therefore he had to be punished for what his underlings did. His name was Guerra, and in his life he accomplished much with counsel and with sword. This other one, who pounds the sand behind me, is...
And back to Holly for a second.
Sorry.
Tegaio Aldobrandi. So Tegaio Aldobrandi was also a leader of the Guelph party in Florence, and he died before 1266, so he died before this story was written. But Dante would have known about him.
Yes, he was in his city and very important historical figure.
And apparently Dante does respect and admire these men. Like, he considers them strong leaders, so what exactly they did to end up in the Inferno is unclear.
Yeah.
They sinned against nature, I guess, somehow.
Whose wise voice the world would have done well to listen to. See, even he thinks they should be listened to. And I, who share this post of pain with them, was Jacopo Rusticucci.
Jacopo Rusticucci.
And for sure, my reluctant wife first drove me to my sin.
So it's his wife's fault that he's in the Inferno?
His reluctant wife, yes.
Who is his wife?
And why was she reluctant? And why would he describe his wife as reluctant? I don't know.
Right.
If I could have been sheltered from the fire, I would have thrown myself below with them. And I think my guide would have allowed me to.
It's a bit dramatic.
Okay? Dante?
I must throw myself into the bowels of hell. And
With them!
Nope, buddy. We are sent on a quest. You can't do that.
Yes, by Beatrice, your second love.
By Mary, by Rebecca, whoever Rebecca may be.
Rachel.
Why do I keep thinking this woman's name is Rebecca?
Because Rebecca's a very biblical name that comes up a lot.
Okay, I apologize.
And Rachel's also a biblical name.
I'm sorry. Again, I mean, no offense. I'm just not a very religious person.
But, as I knew, I would be burned and seared. My fear won over my first good intention.
So I really wanted to join them in their suffering, but then I remembered I would have to suffer, and that scared me. Oh my god,
Pretty
Dante.
much, Dante. I mean, pain is scary. I don't know what to say to that.
That is entirely fair. I too fear pain, but as someone with chronic pain, sometimes you just gotta do shit, even though you're like, this is gonna hurt later.
Yeah. But not Dante, apparently. That made me want to put my arms around them, and then I spoke. Repulsion, no, but grief for your condition spread throughout my heart, and years will pass before it fades away. As soon as my lord here began to speak in terms that led me to believe a group of such men as yourselves might be approaching, I am from your city, and your honored names and your accomplishments I have always heard rehearse and have rehearsed myself with fondness. I leave the bitter gall and journey toward those sweet fruits promised me by my true guide. But first I must go down to the very center, so your soul remain to guide your body for years to come. That same one spoke again, and your fame light shine after you are gone.
So yet another person is telling Dante that they hope that he lives a nice long life and that he's famous.
And he is famous.
He's famous and technically lives on.
And honored in statue form.
And museum and
painting form.
So many other tributes to Dante.
Yes.
Which again is kind of hilariously ironic because he was once exiled for the very thing he's now famous for. I mean, they literally have depictions of the Inferno in front of the Il Duomo in Florence, the big, magnificent dome. It's beautiful, it's gorgeous. 10 out of 10 would dome again.
Dome again, dome again.
Dome again. Tell us if courtesy and valor dwell within our city as they used to do, or have they both been banished from the place? Guglielmo Borsieri, who joined our painful ranks of late and travels there with our companions, has given us reports that make us grieve. A new breed of people with their sudden wealth have stimulated pride and unrestraint in you, O Florence, made to weep so soon. These words I shouted with my head strained high, and the three below took this to be my answer, and looked as if on truth at one another. If you always answer questions with such ease, they all spoke up at once. Oh, happy you to have this gift of ready, open speech. Therefore, if you survive these unlit regions and return to gaze upon the lovely stars when it pleases you to say, I was down there, do not fail to speak of us two living men. So, once again, spirits in the Inferno being punished for something they did, unclear what they did, are like, please remember us, please tell people that you saw us in hell. We want to be remembered.
Right.
And I'm guessing that contemporaries of these people were probably still alive and in Florence, and or people that had learned about them and knew exactly why they were in the Inferno.
Right.
But it doesn't really explain to us why they were in the Inferno, just that they sinned against nature. Again, whatever form that took, unclear.
Or art.
Or art. Right, we're almost at the part where they sin against art. So maybe they're doing both. Amen could not have been pronounced as quick as they were off and vanished from our sight. And then my teacher thought it time to leave. I followed him, and we had not gone far before the sound of water was so close that if we spoke, we hardly heard each other. As that river on the Apennines left slope, first springing from its course to Monte Veso, then flowing eastward, holding its own course.
Again, Virgil is a timepiece, though, because he keeps saying,
we gotta get
moving. Time to leave. But he's a timepiece. It's hurry up.
Move.
It's time to leave.
So
The station is going.
So apparently the reason the water is so loud is because of the waterfall. So yeah, that can be pretty fucking loud and drown out what you're trying to say.
Yeah, waterfalls are loud. Called Aquanchetta at his start above before descending to its lower bed, where at Ferroli it has another name. Reverberates there near San Bernardino del Alpe, plunging in a single bound, where at least 1,000 vessels could be housed. So down a single rocky precipice, we found the fainted waters falling, roaring sound loud enough to deafen us in seconds. I wore a cord that fastened around my waist, with which I once had thought I might be able to catch the leopard with the gaudy skin.
You thought a rope would catch a leopard? A rope that you're wearing as a belt would catch an apex predator?
Yes.
What are you? Are you Pedro Pascal's character from Kingsman: The Golden Circle?
He's obviously the, what was it?
You just use a lasso to catch it. Oh, shit. But it's not a lasso, it's like a fucking belt.
Oh, God. I wore a cord that fastened around my waist, which I had once thought I might be able to catch the leopard with the gaudy skin. So it has that gaudy skin, the spotted pelt.
Yes, I remember the spots. It was only mentioned like 8 or 9 times that this creature had spots. That's how we know it's a leopard. Well, I guess it could be a cheetah, but...
I mean...
A cheetah would definitely be able to run him the fuck down and eat him, though.
Yeah.
Cheetahs are fucking fast.
But they probably wouldn't.
They might if they're hungry enough.
Maybe. As soon as I removed it from my body, just as my guide commanded me to, I gave it to him, looped into a coil. Then taking it and turning to the right, he flung it quite a distance past the bank and down into the deepest of the pit. Now, surely something strange is going to happen, I thought to myself.
Well, yeah, he had you take off your belt and then threw it like a fishing line into a random body of water. Something weird is going to happen.
To answer this strange signal, whose course my master followed with his eyes.
Okay. How cautious a man must be in company with one who can not only see his action, but read his mind and understand his thoughts. Oh, so he's a mind reader.
Which one? Dante?
No, Virgil.
Virgil?
His list of skills keep going up.
He's a timepiece. He can carry people. He doesn't carry people.
Sometimes he wants you to shut up. Sometimes he wants you to speak. Sometimes he floats. Sometimes he has no weight. Again, we don't know that he can actually carry people. That's just kind of a running joke because we don't know how the hell Dante is moving from place to place when he's unconscious.
We assume it's Virgil.
And neither does Dante. So that's why he's unconscious, because he doesn't know how to transition. He's just like,
I think it's Virgil.
I'm going to be unconscious now.
I'm going to assume it's Virgil from now on. We have decided it's Virgil a long time ago, though.
He spoke. Soon will rise up what I expect, and what you are trying to imagine now soon must reveal itself before your eyes. It is always better to hold one's tongue than speak a truth that seems a bold-faced lie when uttered, since to tell this truth could be embarrassing. In other words, sometimes you just gotta not say anything because what actually happened sounds so fucking unbelievable that people will roast you for it.
Yeah.
But in this case, because I was told I have to tell you guys, I'm gonna do it, but you're not gonna believe me.
And it's kind of embarrassing too.
But I shall not keep quiet and buy the verses of my comedy. Oh. He knows he's writing a poem while he's actively going through the Inferno.
Yes. He's journaling what he's seen. Obviously.
So
Taking lots of notes.
So he has
like a good student.
maybe Virgil's his notebook.
Maybe. Oh god, that would mean he's recording things too for you?
But I shall not keep quiet, and by the verses of my comedy, so may they be received with lasting favor. Reader, I swear to you, I saw a figure coming. It was swimming through the thick and murky air up to the top, a thing to startle even stalwart hearts. Like one returning who has swum below to free the anchor that has caught its hook on a reef or something else the sea conceals, spreading out his arms and doubling out his legs. So this dude is breaststroking his way. But he's also holding a rope, maybe? Maybe
Okay.
he's holding the rope with his mouth.
Or his teeth. That's kind of hard to swim that way, by the way.
Oh, okay. So interestingly, remember how I was talking about how the hell is your rope long enough to lasso potentially a leopard?
Well, apparently it's long enough to snorkel with, so...
Apparently, this might be a sign that he was once a friar, because friars wore those long cords.
Yes. His poor wife. And also, Dante, you don't have to swear. If we don't believe you after this many cantos, we're not gonna. I'm just saying. You really don't have to be like, oh, you're not gonna believe the stuff I have seen, guys. Listen, if I don't believe you after this many cantos, we're never gonna believe you.
Again, whether I believe him or not is not really what we're talking about here. We're just kind of going through it with him.
Yes.
So that's the end of Canto 16. Now we're going to move on to Canto 17, where we finally figure out what the fuck was in that water, y'all.
Yay! I can't wait. And we're going to probably meet some more people who I can't pronounce.
Well,
yay! Can't wait, guys. I can't wait.
This is why we work together, because sometimes I don't know something. Bon looks it up, and sometimes Bon doesn't know how to say a word, but I know just enough Italian that I can try.
Listen, I took like 1 or 2 lessons of like elementary Italian, and I can't pronounce shit, so it's bad.
I did take a more concentrated course of Italian, and it was much more recent, so maybe it's just like lingering in my brain, but I do vividly remember sitting in my Italian class calling Dante out on his bullshit, and at one point my classmates were like, who's Dante? And I was like, you don't know who Dante Alighieri is? You're studying in Italian and you don't know the man that basically unified the language of this region?
The Shakespeare of his time.
And also, we're literally going to Florence as part of this trip. Did you do no research?
Apparently they did not.
No.
Alright, here. We're going to meet some people. And now, behold the beast with pointed tail that passes mountains and annulling walls and weapons. Behold the one that makes the whole world stink. These were the words I heard my master say as he signaled for the beast to come ashore, up close to where the rocky levee ends. And that repulsive spectacle of fraud floated close, maneuvering head and chest on to the shore, but his tail he let hang free. His face was the face of any honest man. It shone with such a look of benediction, and all the rest of him was serpentine. His 2 clawed paws were hairy to the armpits. His back and all his belly and both flanks were painted arbuscus and curlicues. Wow, just throw words at me.
Curlicue is like the spirals. And
Yeah.
then, sorry, let me see that word.
The arbuscus. Arbuscus.
Arabesques.
Arabesque, sorry.
That's a ballet move. That's a French word. You studied French.
No. It's been years, right?
And yet,
10 years. At least, maybe more.
Arabesque. Arabesque.
Arabesque. Arabesque. Arabesque.
The Turks and Tartars never made a fabric with richer colors intricately woven, nor were such complex webs spun by Arachne, ashore, part fixed in sand and part still in the water, and as the beaver living in the land of drunken Germans squats to catch his prey, just so that beasts, the worst of beasts, hung waiting on the bank that bounds the stretch of sand and stone in the void beyond. He exercised his tail, twitching and twisting up the venom fork that armed its tip just like a scorpion stinger. My leader said, "Now we must turn aside a little from our path in the direction of that mountain beast that lies in wait." Then we stepped off our path down to the right and moved 10 paces straight across the brink to keep the sand and flames at a safe distance. And when we stood by Gerion's side, I noticed a little farther on some people crouch in the sand quite close to the edge of emptiness. That was a lot of description.
yes. So Arachne is, of course, the mythical maiden who challenged Athena / Minerva, depending on which mythos, Roman or Greek, you're talking about, to a weaving contest and then won. And in some versions, she bragged about it and was turned to a spider. And then in other versions, she attempted to unalive herself with her weaving, and Athena turned her into a spider for that. So he's like, Arachne spun this magical web. That's because she's the mother of all spiders.
Yes.
And then apparently they think that beavers catch fish by slapping their tails against the water. That's not actually what beavers do.
No.
When beavers are slapping their tail, it's either like a warning, like back the F off, or they're trying to pack mud or other things.
Tight. And there were beavers in Italy.
Yeah, we just found that out, and apparently they're being reintroduced to Italy. So if you see a beaver in Italy, don't be alarmed. They're supposed to be there.
Yay!
Just then my master spoke. So you may have a knowledge of this round that is complete, he said. Go and see their torment for yourself. But let your conversation there be brief. While you are gone, I shall speak to this one and ask him for the loan of his strong back. So this creature that we fucking lured out of the depths,
Yes.
we're gonna ask it for a piggyback ride.
For Dante.
Yeah, because Virgil doesn't need one. He is
A floaty.
He floats. And so now he's gonna go find some sinners to talk to.
Yay! Because we need to have conversation. We have a lack of conversation.
So far we've just described a monster.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And we discussed medieval bestiaries, which are like encyclopedias for creatures.
Yeah.
And how they were very wrong about beavers.
They were wrong about a lot of creatures.
Yes, I know.
Including cats.
Yes. So I continued walking all alone, once again walking a lonely road, the only road that he has ever known, along the 7th circle outer edge to where the group of sufferers were sitting. The pain was bursting from their eyes. Their hands went scurrying up and down to give them protection here from the flames, there from the burning sands. They were, in fact, like a dog in summertime, busy now with his paw, now with his snout, tormented by the fleas and flies that bite him.
Oh, poor
So there were
dog.
still fleas in the 1300s. Oh yeah, the fleas started the Black Plague. I knew that. I'm
Cats.
sorry. Yes,
Cats.
I'm sorry.
That was my hint. The cats and fleas.
Listen, if there ever is a plague, Don't kill your rodent control. That's a big no.
Yeah, you're only rodent control.
I carefully examined several faces among this group caught in the raining flames and did not know a soul, but I observed that around each sinner's neck a pouch was hung, each of a different color, with a coat of arms, and fixed on these they seemed to feast their eyes. And while I looked about among the crowd, I saw something in blue on a yellow purse that had the face and bearing of a lion. And while my eyes continued their inspection, I saw another purse as red as blood. It's not the cape. As red as...
No.
Okay.
No, it's not the cape.
We're not going back and date the woods, Holly. That's your special interest episode. We don't need to go back there. So the purse is red as blood.
We already have the leopard. Now we have.
And so it's a purse as red as blood, yes, exhibiting a goose.
Oh,
more white than butter.
I was not expecting the goose to show up. Hi.
So these are coats of arms for different towns. Yes. And interestingly, if you go around Italy really has preserved a lot of its ancient artifacts and buildings and such.
Oh, nice.
So you can see sort of either complete carvings of coat of arms or like partial carvings of coat of arms, like here and there around Italy. I believe where I was studying, which is Assisi, the coat of arms was like a griffin.
Oh. That's nice.
Yeah. But I could be remembering wrong because this was many moons ago.
Yes. And one who had a blue sow, pregnant looking, stamped on the whitest of his money bag, asked me, "What are you doing in this pit?"
Why do people keep asking him this question?
Get out of here!
God, not no one.
And since you're still alive, I'll tell you that my neighbor, Vitaliano, will come to take his seat on his left side. Among these Florentines, I sit one Paduan.
Padua's a part of Italy.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Sorry, Italians who are listening to this. I cannot pronounce any today. Okay. Time after time, they fill my ears with blasts of shouting. Send us down the sovereign knight, who will come bearing 3 goats on his pouch. As a final comment, he stuck out his tongue, as far out as an ox licking its nose. And I, afraid...
Again? Of somebody sticking their tongue out? My dude, there's so many other things to be scared of.
Oh, Lordy. And I, afraid my staying there much longer might anger the one who warned me to be brief, turned my back to these frustrated sinners. I found my guide already sitting high upon the back of that fierce animal. He said, "And now take courage and be strong. From now on, we descend by stairs like these. Get on up front. I want to ride behind." Well, I'm glad you have a preference, Virgil.
And now we're going on a magic Garion ride.
To be between you and the dangerous tail.
Oh, well, that's nice of you. If only you weren't fucking incorporeal.
Sometimes he's not, though. Remember, he can cover Dante's eyes from Medusa? So,
right.
So sometimes he has
the magical properties of Virgil continue. I'm done trying to update this ad. We'll just put it up as it is.
Okay. A man who feels the shivers of a fever coming on, his nails already dead of color, will tremble at the mere sight of cool shade. I was that man when I had heard his words, but then I felt those stabs of shame that make a servant brave before his valorous master. As I squirm around on those enormous shoulders, I wanted to cry out, "Hold on to me!" But I had no voice to second my desire.
So internally, Dante was going, "Eh," and externally, he was silent.
He got feared twice.
I
in
know!
one pain.
I put it down!
Then he, who once before had helped me out when I was threatened, put his arms around me as soon as I was settled and held me tight.
Okay.
And
this is really giving me strong Magic Carpet or Titanic vibes.
And then he cried, "Now, Geryon, start moving, descend with gentle motion, circling wide. Remember, you are carrying living weight."
Yeah. Don't drop the living dude, Geryon. Just as a boat slips back away from the shore, back slowly, more and more he left that pier, and when he felt himself all clear in space to where his breast had been, he swung his tail and stretched it, undulating like an eel.
No, I think it's the one that goes like that. It stretches.
Okay, so
And-
instead of
Yeah.
Okay. It's gonna be fun to draw.
Yes.
Alright. I doubt if Phaethon feared more. That time he dropped the sun reins of his father's chariot, right? Phaethon stole Apollo's chariot and famously almost burned the earth in Greek mythology.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that chariot.
And burned the streak of sky we see today, or if poor Icarus did, feeling his sides unfeathering as the wax began to melt, his father shouting, "Wrong! Your course is wrong!" So apparently these two myths were used in Italy a lot to show the downfall of pride.
Yeah.
But I mean, there are many interpretations of the Icarus myth where it's sort of he just desperately wanted to escape and he felt that was his best way to do it.
Well, it was also used as a parable to say, don't push yourself too far.
Right.
Don't test the limits.
Phaethon really shouldn't have been fucking around and finding out with a god's chariot. That's
I'm just talking about Icarus.
Okay, back to Dante's fear.
Okay.
I had when I felt myself in the air and saw on every side nothing but air. Only the beast I sat upon was there. So Dante's afraid of heights.
Oh, well, that's relatable.
Yeah. Me too, Dante. Me too.
I am also, but not as much as other people are.
You mean me? Yeah, that's fine. That's fair. Entirely fair. He moves along slowly and swimming slowly. Why do you say slowly twice in one sentence? Descends a spiral path, but I know this only from a breeze ahead and one below. I hear now on my right the whirlpool roared with hideous sound beneath us on the ground. At this, I stretch my neck to look below. So, they're going up, but the Inferno is descending. So is it sort of
going up to
at World's End where they have to tilt their boat completely underwater in order to be right side up?
I guess.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I guess. But leaning out soon made me more afraid. Of course it did.
Jesus. Again? We've almost doubled our fear count in this one canto.
I mean, he's afraid a lot of heights.
So scared.
For I heard moaning there and saw the flames trembling. I cowered back, tightening my legs, and I saw them. What I I saw then what I had not before, the spiral path of our descent to torment, closing in on us. It seemed from every side as the falcon on the wing for many hours, having found no prey and having seen no single. So that his falconer sighs, oh, he falls already. Descends, worn out, circling 100 times instead of swooping down, settling at some distance from his master, perched in anger and disdain. So, Geryon brought us down to the bottom, at the foot of the jagged cliff, almost against it, and once he got our bodies off his back, he shot off like a shaft shot from a bush. And that's the end of Canto 17. Apparently, he just goes at the end.
To the start. Okay, so for those of you that are interested, our friend count is now 17.
Yay!
Dante was scared so much.
Yes.
Why couldn't he have just passed out? Come on, fake count. Don't give up on me. Okay, join us next time for a special interest episode yet to be determined, and this time it will be the bonbon that goes into the special interest.
Yay!
As always, you can find us on social media. I'm at HollyDermaboy on Instagram.
I'm at Blank Esquire.
We are on
We're not
the
even on Blue Sky.
Patreon
We're also not on
at
Blue Sky yet.
patreon.com
So maybe by this point we will be on Blue Sky.
Laughing Goblins for business inquiries. And I swear we are serious business-minded folks. You can find us at TheLaughingGoblins@gmail.com. You can also find us on Spotify and on TikTok.
The Laughing Goblins at TikTok.
And we'll see you next time. Bye!
Bye!